So, Dave, great to see you today. Now, you and I know, perhaps that, the brand of a business and that essence and the feel of a business is vital, more so in this day and age. And as a business grows and maybe they get more sites and they might go global, having consistency to that brand is super, super critical. But it's not always the case that happens in education, is it?
No, not at all. And it's really important, especially again, this day and age, as you mentioned there, within the Multi-Academy Trust sort of arena. And there's lots of schools now becoming part of Academy Trusts. It's really important that they are well represented because the marketplace is so competitive out there now. So it is really, really important to have that consistent branding from the Multi-Academy Trust down into the schools. Now, how they do it can be different in different areas.
Because essentially a school that has been its own identity, and often some for many, many, many years, when they become part of a trust, then I suppose the challenge is that there is change, but also it's an opportunity to be stronger in numbers and to what is the benefit to a school being part of a trust?
Absolutely. Well, it adds credibility, doesn't it? Absolutely adds massive credibility. Also, as well with schools, some of the schools are reluctant to change because they've got some traditions and some history behind those schools in order to do that. But the Multi-Academy Trusts offer that strength in depth when it comes to offering the services that they provide to schools and the support that they provide to schools. A sudden change can be quite challenging as well for a school. And that's why we tend to get involved really in the fact that Multi-Academy Trusts are skilled in what they do, but obviously when it comes to sort of aligning the branding, the timing of the branding, where does it place in relation to the vision and values, that's where we can help and advise and support organisations within the education sector.
So would you work with the trust and then that brand filters down to the individual schools, or because I guess that's the only way to do it, is it?
You can do it in a number of ways. Again, a lot of the time it depends on the budgets, but to do it the right way, absolutely. So from my point of view, what's really key, and it's a real passion of mine, stakeholder engagement all the way through the process, not just at the beginning. So for me, when a branding opportunity comes around, you need the vision and values in place. So work has to be done there from the trust, working with the schools, not just for the trust's visions and values, but also what are the visions and values of the schools. You'd like to think that they align to the Academy Trust's overview, visions and values. And then at that point there, you can start to look at what are the needs from a branding point of view. How do they co-align with the Multi-Academy Trust? How do each schools do that? And for me, it's that initial audit situation, brand audit analysis that you would look to do with each of the schools along with the actual trust themselves. What do they want to achieve out of it? Where are they looking? What's the direction? What are the numbers like? What are the demographics like? What does the future look like as well? Because again, we know where there's a shortage in childbirth ages at a certain year group, then we know we've got additional challenges that we need to manage. You know that, you've done some of the work that projects we've worked on together, where there's a good year, there's a bad year. So again, it's how do we do that? But for me, it's really important to engage with staff, families, communities, right from the outset when you are developing.
As you're developing the brand and what that's going to look like and feel like.
Even with the vision values, for me it's important to do that. Obviously, you bring the branding exercise in once you've got your visions and values in place. You engage with your audiences, you bring them on board straight away. You do a really detailed and deep dive, if you can, and there's money there to do that, with stakeholders. I think it's important to work with external stakeholders, and of course people are going to say, well, you would say that, of course you're going to say that. But you do get underneath the skin and it's no holes barred.
So why is it better, I suppose? I think I might know the answer, but
you're getting the warts and all.
Right.
You're getting all the information, you're getting the good, the bad.
So an external company is more like to say, that's not working or that's great, whereas if someone's locked into the heritage and might not want to upset the apple cart, they won't say anything.
Of course. We all know that. And again, from our point of view, we wouldn't be doing our job properly if we didn't uncover those little hidden gems. And those hidden gems actually can be countered quite quickly and positively, no problems at all. So I think, yeah, it's important. Again, I do have that passion of bringing in, all stakeholders all the way through the process, collaborate with them, help them drive the brand consistency throughout, engaging with the parents, the communities all the way through, so that when the branding is delivered and presented, then you've got a team of people actually behind you who've supported the process,
Yes.
who've worked with you in the process, who understand how you've got to where you've got to, so they can support that in the communities and be advocates.
Yeah. And just a very fundamental question, but it is one that we still hear a lot. The difference between a brand identity and having a logo made.
Yes, we always ask that question. It's about the culture, it's about the people, it's about everything that you do on a day-to-day basis, whether it be a report being presented, whether it be email signatures. It's the perception as well, how you are to your parents, behind the brand, even down to uniform.
Yeah.
It's important that comes across. One of the reasons why I chose my school for my daughters, not that we're Catholics and we felt it was the right school for them, just the way that they delivered the brand,
Yeah.
and their expectations of a student being in that school, that was enough for me at that point
Yeah.
in time. Obviously, you've got the Ofsted results, and people read that, and the locality, and the reputation that the school has. These are all really, really important things. But obviously, it's a competitive marketplace.
Yeah.
And places are valuable places. So absolutely, for me, that's really important. Keeping those people involved all the way through. And again, from a top tips point of view, for me, what would I be doing if I was looking at either onboarding a new school, or whether we were a multi-academy trust looking to rebrand ourselves or schools? I'd be looking at 4 or 5 key stages. Obviously, over existing brand audit, bring in an external partner, whether it's a freelancer, whether it's an organisation like Creative World Marketing, brand audit, engage straight away with your stakeholders, identify what your direction is going to be from an organisational point of view, look at the brand strategy that's behind it, develop a toolkit.
Right.
Big thing, toolkit. We could talk about this at another time in detail. Toolkit's absolutely essential. They don't cost the earth, and you can roll these out across every aspect of your communications, whether it's advertising for jobs,
Yeah.
email signatures, presentations, just a general profile.
So is that essentially like a playbook, so that you've got that consistency and you've not got people filling in blanks, or that they know what tone of voice, font, all those sort of things?
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy, absolutely easy. Again, if it's all aligned nicely to the overall multi-academy trust, who are probably looking after over a dozen schools at a time, then everything sits really professionally, all the other aspects of all the support that's offered all the way down the line. And of course, don't forget your stakeholders all the way through the process. I mentioned it a few times, but also evaluate your success. What are we doing right? What's challenging? How can we make things better? We've got a client at the moment, done some great work for them. There's a shortage in the birth rate from that specific year. Their intake on older children within the school, great, but obviously at early years, it's not been as great. So we're working really hard with them, and you'll know yourself. You're engaged with doing some video content for this client. Again, so we can reach out to our target audiences and appeal on the great success story that school is.
Yeah, and as I say, I think that for any business, and I suppose schools are run as businesses out there, but we are fighting for a finite number of customers or pupils. So more than ever, I guess, for schools or trusts to stand out and to really shout about, because parents are going to be looking at this and thinking, where do they want the child to go?
Yes, and also as well, it's very difficult for us because obviously there's budgets involved.
Yeah.
We have to consider budgets. But again, you can make budgets work smart. And if you evaluate the intake of 1 or 2 students, that could cover the costs of budgets as well to help do that. Again, if you're working with some partners like ourselves, you can look at spreading the cost as well.
Yeah.
You know, because we realise that budgets run annually,
Yeah.
and you know other things can get out of hand. You know, cost of gas and electricity gone through the roof. We can't budget for that.
Yeah.
So again, it's making sure that we work smart.
So if a school, an academy or a trust is watching this, Dave, how do you get started? And if you're thinking, yes, I want alignment with my brand, you know, how do you get started practically, but also from a mindset point of view?
I think have conversations with other organisations. School business managers talk to each other quite a lot, where they've been through the process, consideration. You know, we'll more than happily have a conversation and give our views really, where we think they need to sort of take the next steps,
Yeah.
and who they need to involve. The majority of the work that we deliver is only successful if you've got the right people
Yeah.
in the right places, the right partners, collaborating with families, communities, staff, the diocese, obviously if you're a Catholic school. It's just making sure the right people are engaged through the process.
So Dave, you and the team at Creative World Education have been doing this for a long time. But as we said, for any business, it's competitive out there. Why would a trust or an education partner come to you guys?
I think authenticity is really important, and experience and knowledge. And one thing that we stand by is giving the right advice of what we think, based on our expertise and knowledge, will work. And also we will help support those organisations to help themselves. If there's ways that they can help us to run through that process, making sure that they've got their processes in order. Have you got your vision? Have you got your values? Right, great, then we can step in and help. Obviously we can help create those through some of our partnerships. But also, you know, we value quality.
Yeah.
All our clients will tell you the whole process that we take them through. Everything is quality from start to finish. And also we've got some great partners, as you know, Rob. You are, you know, the work that you've produced on behalf of us, for some of our clients, has been, you know, excellent piece of work. So yes, it's we just, you know, the advice that we offer around making sure that you bring the right people to the party, will deliver the sort of the direction and the proposals and the strategies based on what we feel is what's right for that individual school. It's an exciting marketplace.
Yeah.
And we feel that obviously there's lots of change taking place with multi-academy trusts as it stands, and we've got the knowledge and the expertise to help support some of those organisations.
So find a partner that's got a great track record, be prepared to collaborate, ask lots of questions, listen, and I guess that will be a harmonious journey to a great sort of rebrand or a refinement and a pulling together of the brands across all sites and future success. Dave, as always, thank you for coming in and sharing your wealth of knowledge.
Thank you, Rob, and thank you very much for your wealth of knowledge as well.